Grumble, grumble. Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am coming back at you with my continuing coverage of Tanares Adventures. This time we're going to look at the absolutely titanic pile of books and large format cards that come with the game. So let's dig right in. Let's maybe get this out of the way. Okay, so all I've done is take the shrink off of these, basically. I haven't actually looked at any of them yet. So first off, we have got a set of class cards that I believe is basically like the level up mechanic for the various classes. So you can see here, you've got the Brute starting out, and he's got a couple of different trees and a couple of different abilities that he can choose from in each tree. So starting out, Bash, run to an enemy, move it 2. Frenzy, pay 3 hit points. An enemy takes 7 damage. You've got Onslaught, run 3 to an enemy, it takes 1 damage for each blank you roll, I think is what that's saying. And so you've got these for all the character archetypes. And I'm not going to go through them all, but you know, you've got your tank. It lists their kind of basic attributes at the top 2, which is useful. And they're double-sided, so each side will contain a different class. That's why they give you 2 copies of each. So, very cool. I'll have to, really get to know how to play the game before they make much sense, but they look cool, for sure. Okay, next up we've got the Quick Start Guide for Tanares Adventures. Welcome. Are you ready to control heroes and fight villains in quests? Yeah, that's what I came for. I love these little quick start guides that walk you through a complicated game like this, step by step, and like walk you through the first couple of rounds. This one looks quite detailed. It's got lots of images. It's got lots of really great, examples of movement and such. This is a fantastic resource, and I definitely look forward to utilizing this to learn how to play this monster. I just learned something recently that I at least wasn't aware of related to Tanares Adventures, and that's that in some ways it's really kind of mislabeled as an expansion, because it actually has its own complete set of rules, basically. Like, you don't need to read the rules for Arena the Contest to play this game. I guess I was thinking of it more as a traditional expansion where it's additive, it's adding on to the original experience. But I've been lurking around some Facebook groups, and it's become clear to me that really it's only an expansion in the sense that you need Arena the Contest to get some like basic resources from that box, like the boxes or the boards and certain tokens and whatever. But other than that, it's like a complete standalone game, and they don't really intersect. So that's really interesting. Like, the narrative isn't linked as far as I understand. So that's interesting to me. It almost feels a little bit like a misstep on Dragori's part. They could have probably pretty easily thrown a board and a couple tokens into this box and made it a standalone experience, so that you wouldn't be in a position like I am where you've got this but you can't play it yet, or you have to like kind of homebrew something together. But at the same time, it does make me think that I probably can get this up and running without having to wait for the core box, which is exciting. Anyways, moving on, we've got the campaign log. Oh, this is really cool. Looks like a bunch of, on this page, you've got a bunch of perks that you can acquire as you play through the campaign. You've got the phase calendar. Wow. A list of quests. There are 82 quests listed here. So this is very much on the scale of something like Gloomhaven in terms of just the sheer amount of stuff to do. You've got your campaign log with the regions. There's all sorts of little checkboxes and stuff on here. You know, the only thing I'll say is I wish they would have, I don't know. It'd be nice if this were dry erasable or something. Of course, you could just cut it apart and laminate it, and I might do that. But I do like the fact that it's a little booklet. There are ways around that too. But it'd be nice if you could write on it without having to erase and stuff. But, you know, some of those things are just outside of the scope of any board game company doing. Basically. You've got your war points. And you've got your fact log. And then puzzles and a spot to take notes in. Very cool. And it is like nice high quality paper. Is that garbage? Okay. Here's your map of Imperial Tanares. This thing does see a little bit. Beautiful map. Nice and detailed. Nice big print on it for the various regions and stuff. I appreciate that, being blind. It's got a guide to the world phase on it, which is great. So you don't necessarily have to go back to the booklet to look that up. And then you've got a similar mechanism for the city phase. Shows you where to put your decks, how to build your city and whatnot, and instructs you on how it plays. So this is very cool. If they had offered an upgrade for neoprene versions of this, I would have bought it. So maybe just food for thought for the future of Dragori games, if they do a reprint or something like that. And then we've got the rule book. This thing is freaking hefty. This is almost 90 pages, and it's just like really heavy. It's surprisingly heavy. And so once you get into it right off the bat, and this is something that people pointed out to me before I opened this up, it tells you what are the components that you need from Arena the Contest. So you need the game board. I actually don't need that because I have the Warlock terrain system, and I'm planning on using that to build a 3D board rather than using the cardboard board and the little, you know, even the walls and such that come with the game. I don't know that I'll actually end up using those. So I don't really need that to get started. The scenario tiles I could probably get away with. I could hack something together with tiles from other games of a similar ilk. I've obviously got some 20-sided dice. You need some treasure chest miniatures. That's not a problem. You need some hit point tokens. I could just use dice to track that, and colored rings for bases, which this actually comes with. It's just that they're hexagonal instead of circular. So that's all you have to have. Always used. Probably used is the heroes and the villains from the core set, the miniatures and stuff, the attack cards for those heroes, and a team token, which you could just use whatever you want. And then sometimes you've got the fate cards, the prisoner miniatures, the token time and XP tokens, which I think some of these at least are in this box. the orb miniatures, and the flask cards. So really, I could probably get started on this without the core box. And considering that I've seen a lot of people who got their Tanares Adventures and then immediately got a notification for the rest of their stuff. I haven't gotten anything. So I'm assuming that my stuff is a couple weeks out. And I'm assuming that I maybe don't want to wait a couple weeks to play this. And I'm assuming that maybe you don't want to wait a couple weeks to see me play it. The 20 people who will watch. Okay, next up we've got a very nice table of contents. Very, very detailed. Obviously this is a big book. But also on the back, you've got an index. A legit index that points you to every page where certain keywords are referenced. It's critical for being able to actually table these games. Here we've got a list of all of the components with nice big pictures showing exactly what they look like. There's nothing I hate more than, a rule book that maybe it lists the components, but it doesn't show you what they are, or it only shows you a single example and maybe there's some variation in there that could make it a little, confusing as to if you're looking at the right thing or not. This is great because, this breaks every single pull token type, the miniatures, the cubes, it's all here. Even this goofy boss snap-on base thing that I showed off in the unboxing. I don't want to call it goofy. I don't know that it's goofy. And then all the cards and everything. It's all ultra detailed. This is just going to be so helpful for organizing the game because at least for the cards, I have no intention of using this box. I will use another one of the kind of custom storage solutions that I create. This one is for Shadows of Brimstone. This is a BCW 1600 card holder, and it's just basically 2 rows. It's solid plastic, and it makes it really easy to flip through cards. And considering the number of cards in this game, that's probably what I'll do. And just create dividers for them so that I can just go. Because you don't want to have to, because the card storage in the box is okay, but it's separated into multiple trays. And so that means either you got to get all the cards out and have 50 decks on your thing, or you have to be constantly like pulling trays in and out. And I at least don't want to be doing that. So I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. All right. And then we get into the meat of the rule book. Lots of examples called out in separate colors so that they jump out at you. You've got the golden rules. Lots of really cool artwork. Oh man, this is always like my favorite page in a rule book where they list out all the awesome classes you can play as. So fun. Brutes, shooters, tacticians, controllers, tanks, bruisers, healers, and commanders. Amazing. This game looks so awesome. Continuing on, it's showing you how to set up the table for a hero's corner. I like that. So you see you're going to have your big kind of player card, which it looks like actually, okay, I see. So this actually replaces the cards that were in the previous games because I don't see the core stats listed anywhere else. In the previous game, you had a single card that had your core stats, your character picture, and your abilities on it. But they also included cards that for the individual abilities so that you could hand them to your, the person who's affected by it or something like that. And so it looks like here they've done away with that kind of default dashboard and built it into the level up mechanism as well, which I think is cool. It's just less crap on the table. Goes into the hero turns. I'm not gonna, go through step by step. Here's Angelina Jolie's sister. Love it. Lots of cool art. Lots of very detailed explanations. You know, assuming that this plays, that's fucking amazing art right there. I don't know if that comes through. I know there's a lot of glare. Yeah, you can see that art. And let's go back, show you Angelina Jolie Jr. This rulebook is huge, but from what I played of Arena of the Contest, and assuming that this sticks relatively close to that kind of format, it's actually not that complicated. And this also, it looks like it contains campaign content as well. So, very cool. It's a really cool game. That was one of the things I liked about it the most, was that it was very slick. It was very easy to play. Next up, we get into the stuff that's going to be kind of spoiler material. We've got the city book. Right on the back, there's a beautiful diagram of the campaign game flow. Love it. Such a smart touch. And Dragori is just really knocking it out of the park with these smart touches that make this stuff easier to play. I don't even want to know what's going on there. Look at all these amazing characters and stuff though. Like, don't want to spoil any of this. Then we've got the pièce de résistance, as they would say in Letterkenny. The journal, which is freaking massive. This is, you know, Madara sized. And I'm definitely not going to take you through this because I don't want to ruin anything. But this is a massive book that's going to lead you along your quest, I assume. And then you've got your quest guide. It's got an index in it, although, yeah, I suppose just given the nature of the book, this will be perfectly fine. And this is where they show you all the quest setup and everything that we definitely don't want to spoil. So that's it for the books and kind of associated contents from Arena of the Contest. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're excited about Arena of the Contest as I am. And I will talk to you later.